So I've been using the Google Fitbit Air for a little over a month now, and I absolutely love this thing because I could turn my boring analog watch into a smartwatch, and it'll be able to monitor my step tracking, my sleep, health tracking for like my heart rate and stuff like that, all off this small little pebble device. So in this video, I will go through my favorite tips and tricks you need to know if you're interested in one of these and what cool things this thing can do. And of course, I'll be sure to include timestamps to all these subjects we'll be covering in today's video in the description down below. So how I was able to transfer this to be attached on my analog watch. Well, if you have a 3D printer, you could 3D print a bunch of these little adapters, all custom made. Some people have a bunch of files that will fit like basically any size band. Mine happens to be a 29 band. And I just attached it to my favorite Seiko Probe watch right here with that cool Pepsi design that it has going on. With this watch, I did have to swap it with a NATO watch band, which is like under $20 on Amazon. They come available in different colors. And this simply just slides in. And this pebble attaches. And this just needs to be facing my wrist. And I just simply line everything up like so. But that is how I was able to easily convert my luxury daily use analog watch into a smart fitness tracker, eliminating the need to double wrists, having a fitness tracker on one hand and an analog watch on the other. If I go quickly launch the fitness app, the health app on Google on my iPhone, it has no issues communicating, and you could tell it's still tracking my steps, my exercise, all right here. And I synchronize all this even with the Apple Fitness app. As you see right here, my step count still shows. It just takes a while to fully update. And I think doing it this way is much better than having this attached to your ankle, or else it may end up looking like an ankle monitor. But that was a method that I was previously using. But yeah, thanks to the community, they've been developing these like little attachments for your band. Eliminates the need of having to do that, which is quite nice. And when it comes to accuracy, I haven't noticed the difference between wearing it this way versus on top on your wrist, but it will definitely be far more accurate wearing it on your wrist than it would be on your ankle. Now, during the early weeks, I have tried to fit the Google Fit app that's used to communicate with the device on both iPhone and Android. And from my experience, there's no limitations when it comes to those two operating systems. All the main features you have here will automatically sync and operate the same exact way. Additionally, to make sure that your two devices, the Apple Health app as well as Google, are communicating with one another, select this device one more time, select App and Services, and then from here you'll see Apple Health. Tap on here and just give it access to all the data. This way those two apps can easily communicate with one another. But it's only the Apple that can override the Google. The Google cannot override the Apple. It's just one thing to keep in mind. It works similarly with the Pixel side of things as well. And then before we start heading on covering more additional stuff, there is a subscription you can enable. It's like AI Coach. I don't recommend enabling it because honestly, it's just common sense insights of your workout routines. If the AI knows that you're lacking on like your workout, stuff like that, it will just basically give you that brief summary like, hey, you're lacking on your working out, you're hitting less of your steps, that type of thing. I don't really didn't see a reason to buy the subscription version. But if you are curious on it, if you say no thanks and you say no thanks again, it's going to prompt you if you like to subscribe. If you say no thanks, another free trial will pop up saying we'll give it to you for 3 months. And if you say no thanks again, it's gonna now say we'll give it to you for 30 days for free, no credit card necessary. And from there you could accept or deny. So that's how I got the premium version for free. It may work for you. So you could try it that way, but from my personal experience, it was kind of pointless having the AI. The only cool thing that was kind of interesting was the ability to log your meals, but you could always just launch something like ChatGPT and then launch the camera app, either scan the nutrition fact or the barcode, but you could just take a photo. I just grabbed the Coke Zero, it's gonna be 0. But I could always ask ChatGPT, log this meal, and it will automatically log in your meals for you right here. And it keeps track of what I currently have for the day. And when you want to start a new log, just tell it start a new day. So it's a much cheaper method than having to purchase this. Plus you have more tools with ChatGPT. I feel like this was kind of limited. So back on the app. The app is fairly customizable, but tap the pencil icon to always customize like the shortcuts you want to see on top right here. So like you don't care about your calories, but you do care about your sleeping. You could just remove that and then you could replace it with like your floors, your activity zone, So it is somewhat customizable right here on your focus tab. You go to the next toggles, you can remove them. If you want to move certain ones to be closer, you could easily do so like that. And then just tap save. So you do have some customization abilities right here. And then on the health tab, you could do the exact same thing. Tap customize. You could customize the key metrics you like to see and the ones you really don't care about and swap them. And then if you go down, you could add some new additional ones like your hydration levels or floor distance that you travel for the day. Then real quick folks, if you've been enjoying this video so far, like to support the channel, if you could kindly take 2 seconds to hit this video a like, that would be really appreciated, as Dial-Out's channel will be powered by you guys, the viewers, which is why you'll see brand sponsorship segments taking like a minute or two off your time. So thanks to you guys, we don't have to rely on brand. And yes, I did buy all this that you see in this video out of pocket. And I'm just documenting everything for you guys. So thank you so much for those that took the time on not just watching the video, but also hitting a like. It really does help out a lot and allows the channel to be brand free. So thank you so much for those that did that. Let's carry on. So other cool things that this Fit Pebble thing can do, let me pop this out real quick. Even if you don't do the analog watch mod like I have right here, even with this band by itself, this thing is still very powerful, as there's some cool settings that this thing has, as well as some hidden tools. So one of which, something that I wasn't expecting, is this thing does have a built-in motor that does vibrate, and you can set that up so it could wake you up when you're sleeping. If you don't know how to do that, as it is kind of difficult and odd to use the app, but tap on your little icon right here with the phone and the smartwatch icon that it has going on. Select the Fitbit Air. In here, you do have additional settings that a lot of people always overlook. If you go into device preferences, when you select vibration, this is where you can select the intensity, how you want it to be. But if you select the low is what was enabled by default. I kind of found it pointless. So if you feel like this is not aggressive enough to wake you up, definitely change it to high, and even plays a little demo too as you change the settings. But high, you'll definitely notice it. But if you decide you don't want the vibration, you can always just disable it entirely if you have an alarm clock alongside your nightstand. Now, since we're talking about vibration settings, the only vibration benefits that this thing can do is wake you up for your sleep schedules. You can set custom alarms as well. So let me quickly show you for those that are unfamiliar. Select the sleep section and just go all the way down to the very bottom where it says Fitbit Air Alarms. Manage alarms, enable this, tap the plus, and then here's where you could create your custom alarms. Monday through Friday, you can select certain days if you want to. Or you could just enable Smart Awake with your time schedules you selected. By having Smart Awake enabled, it'll wake you up during the most appropriate time frames during your REM sleep. So if you're on the very low end REM sleep, it'll wake you up earlier. This way, you actually wake up wide awake, not waking up feeling tired, you know. That's what Smart Awake allows you to do, and just tap save and you're set. Now the cool thing about the Fitbit Air is that it does not rely on your phone, as long as you don't need GPS. But built into this device has enough storage to store your data for up to 7 days. So if you end up having your phone like on airplane mode, or you turn off, or you just forgot to bring it with you, no need to fear. 7 days of storage is built into this device. So that's a cool little tool that a lot of people don't know. In addition to that, when you're wearing it, let me take it out real quick. There's an LED light, and if you tap twice, it will illuminate to give you an idea on what's the battery percentage like. If it flashes white after double tapping, it means it's between 820 to 100%. If it flashes red, from my understanding, it means it's below 20%. If it's solid red, it means it's completely out of battery. If it's pulsing white, that just basically means it's charging. That's what the LED light indicator means. And whenever you're wearing this and your alarm is ringing and vibrating, you already are awake, tap on it twice to dismiss it as well. So there is a hidden button right there with that tap ability. Now, from my experience, Google advertised this device to be able to last up to 7 days under a single charge, and that does seem to be pretty accurate. Especially from my experience, I have been seeing anywhere from 6 to 7 days of battery life. So battery life on this thing is really amazing, which is why I prefer wearing that now over my Apple Watch. And of course, this watch charges with solar, so I no longer have to worry about really charging these two devices. So the way I typically use this watch is like this. For outdoor hikes, outdoor walks and stuff, dinner nights, basically general casual use, sometimes sleeping as well, I'll simply attach this in, fit it, and wear it just like so, and it doesn't add any weight. And not once have I got somebody to stop me and ask me what's underneath here. People rarely look at what's underneath here, and that's with this gray printing filament that I use. I didn't have black, but even with this gray one, nobody knows it, and I like that low-key stealth look. And when I do have to go to the gym, I'll just go out my way and swap it out for my Apple Watch. And if I'm doing like an outdoor hike and I need backtracking support in case we do get lost, and the satellite SOS is quite nice too, I'll typically run the Apple Watch as well. But for everything else, I'll just casually switch back to this Pepsi style Seiko watch that I just absolutely love. So overall, the Google Fit Air in a nutshell, I absolutely love this thing. It's so lightweight. It's very reasonably priced. Subscription's not needed. It's just an amazing piece of hardware. And the community loves it too, as there's many different adapters, as you've seen, being created for people to 3D print or buy on Etsy. And I wouldn't be surprised there's some adapters on Amazon. I'll be sure to link some of these in the description down below. If you guys have a 3D printer, I'll have the link to that file in the description, as well as some third-party ones I've seen that may work for you as well. So if you'd like to also do this setup, I'll have all these products, including this watch, in the description down below for you guys, and this NATO band that I bought that absolutely works really well. So all that, it will be in the description down below. But other than that, there you guys have it. Just wanted to make this quick tips and tricks video and a follow-up of this Fitbit Air, now how I've been using it and why I absolutely love it. Aside from that, thank you guys so much for watching. If you'd like to watch more, maybe like to check out some cool stuff you could do on CarPlay, I covered that in greater detail in this video over there, where I go through the best settings to make your CarPlay experience easier, especially when using it for navigation. Definitely do check out that video over there for some hidden features. Thank you so much for watching.